Hey, what's going on everybody? This is G The Hypersapien, and in this video we're going to continue to explore the Artel W Orc range, the Iron Horde. This time we're going to take a look at Kaptin Bluddklaw. Let's bust this open and have a look. Now you've got smaller bags, so we'll put these to the side and we'll take a look at Kaptin Bluddklaw first. Unless you're building these right away, make sure you keep your bags so you don't lose all your bits and so you don't muddle up what's what. So first we'll take a look at Kaptin Bluddklaw's body. So like I've shown before, the Artel resin is really good. I love this stuff. It's really crisp, lovely details, and it's not sticky. It doesn't have any residue or anything like that really on it. But you're still advised to give it a bit of a scrub. And there's a little bit of cleanup. You can see where the support is, but Artel are quite good. They clean up most of the supports and most of the little bits and pieces themselves when you get it, so obviously you can tell that this was on some support, so you're going to need to clip this off. You're going to need to tidy up some of these little bits here, but beside that, this is really nice. Now you can see all the details here, the belts, the stitching, the separation between the two pieces of fabric on the back of his cloth. You can see it's all stitched up. Yeah, Kaptin Bluddklaw is an awesome miniature, absolutely love him. Now with Artel, that's nice as well. They have these squares or these shapes normally on their miniatures. So you can see this is where it slots in. So the hands or the arm's going to slot into this square here. And then just here you can see this is where the body's going to go, so it makes it a nice snug fit. And also you can see a triangle on the top here, that's obviously where the head goes, so it has a nice secure fit when you put the head or you put the limbs and the pieces together. So now we can see the legs. The leg has a really nice pose. Basically it looks like he's standing on something, unless you want to convert and change what he's standing on. Obviously he's going to be standing and he has this arched leg up here standing on something. And then nice detail, he has obviously a peg leg, which is really cool. His little teeth hanging off his belt here, and it's quite nice. It's not just a piece of string or something, it's got all these little bits and pieces on it. And then also he has this hanging off his belt as well, basically an orc glyph. But I'll show you how he goes together, really nice and simple. See, he just slides on like that. His body's in a nice pose, he's twisted a bit. Looks awesome. Now Kaptin Bluddklaw comes with two different heads. Both head options are amazing. So both heads have this metal jaw on them. They have slightly different hair. This hair reminds me of a judge or George Washington and that sort of stuff. He has a patch on his eye. The details in the face are really nice. You can see his brow has some texture on it. You can see that his upper lip has a nice amount of texture and detail on it. And then the second face has obviously a different pirate hat to the last. Has different hair also. Less hair, it's sort of combed back and on the side here. You can only see it on one side. Now this tongue has quite a lot of texture on it. His upper lip and his eyebrow and his ears, it's all got nice detail on it. All the rivets and whatnot and plates, they're all really nice and crisp and detailed. And then you can see that it has a hole here on the hat. They give you a feather to go into that, so that's really nice. 2 different head options. Which one would you choose? Let me know in the comments. Now I'll start showing you his hands or his arms. So you can see that it slides in here quite nicely. And also he has 2 different options for his hand. So you get the gun option or you get the sword option. Different muscles and some vein going around it. It looks really nice. Has these cuffs as well, really detailed. Has a bit of weathering. Has sort of where the buttons go. We'll take a look at his sword arm first. You can see it slides in here and it's quite nice. So we'll take a look at the actual sword and the hand here. And as well, really muscly. You can see some veins going up it. I love this kraken or octopus sort of logo here. That's really nice. You can see all these You can see all these bolted on parts, bit of wrap and whatnot around it. Just a little bit of cleanup there where it would have been on the support. Then you've got the gun hand. So again, the hand has some nice veins on it. You can see the fingers are really nice. It's obviously holding the handle of the gun, and then you can see that finger on the trigger there. Has a nice scope on this. And then a couple of barrels there. Also it has this jaw piece that's strapped on. Now this is the feather that goes on the pirate hat that I mentioned before. Nice detail. Lots of detail and separation in this. Crab-like claw, or you get a mechanical version. So this is more of an organic version, where you get the mechanical. So we'll take a look at this mechanical claw at first. So much detail here though again. You can see all these wires and all these rivets and bolts and whatnot. It's all sort of ramshackled and put together, which is nice, and what you would expect from a claw. And then of course you get this bottom piece that goes on. You're going to need to clip these little tags off, and then just like the rest of it, it's going to slot in there really nice and easy. And then you get the organic version. It's basically a crustacean or something like that. Has this starfish on the side. It's really nice. Really nice texture though. You can see all these little dimples, and you can see all these little pimply parts. Reminds me of the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars inside here. Has that sort of beaky part. I mean, this could even be a living creature, who knows? Who knows really? Arm part that's also organic. It's almost like he's turning into a crab creature. Crab people, crab people. But yeah, that just goes on there, and then obviously onto the orc's body. Really nice. If you notice here, he has this slot part here on his back. You get two different options there. You get more of a mechanical version and a more organic, I guess, version we can call it. So this is obviously a pirate boat steering wheel, or you get this generator. It's probably powering up that power claw of his. So again, you get lots of different options. You can chop and change and do some mechanical, some organic parts, or however. But really nice detail again. Lots of weathering and cracked parts. You've got to love that skull, really nice and crisp in the centre. A little bit of cleanup here. You can just see where some of these supports or whatever would be. But overall, very minimal cleanup on these Artel W miniatures. Well, you get this generator, we'll call it. A little bit there to clip off where it's obviously on its support. A little bit here, but overall again nice crisp detail. I like all the different plates of metal that it's got. So it looks like it has different wear and tear. These have been added at separate times. And then just like the rest of the pieces, these slot on really nice and easy. So it just goes over his back here. Also you get this tube here. So even that's nice and detailed. And also you get this piece of terrain. It's basically a piece of rock, but it actually looks like a snake head to me. That's my best bet. That's what I've always thought it as. You get all these nice little flowers here. And then you get all these little stones and these barnacles. So what would Captain Bluddklaw be without his crew? So he has his parrot squig, he has his treasure, and he has his goblin first mate. So we'll take a look at his parrot first. So you get these pieces. So you get his face, his body, a little feather to go on him, and a little mechanical parrot tail. So we can see his little parrot here. See all these scales under him. You can see his belly and a bit of detail under there. You can see his leg. It's quite bird-like. He's in this running pose. You can see that he's off to work. His knees have some texture in them. The muscles are all separated and nice and detailed. You can see his tail, but it looks like the tail's kind of just stuck on. It might not be a real tail because it looks like it's wrap, and then the actual tail, as we saw before, is a mechanical one. Then he has this belt going around him, and you can see these little skulls, the belt's going in between the eyes of the skull. That's really nice. Then we have our parrot's face. He has a eye patch, he has a beak. It's really good though, isn't it? Texture on his head and face, just like you've seen on the knee. Has these scales that are going up him, just like we saw on his underbelly. Nice little sharp teeth in the beak, his little tongue. But yeah, overall he's really nice. The eye patch is really cool as well. A little bit of cleanup there just to smooth all of that out, just to make sure the fit's flush. But that's basically how he's gonna go. Really cool. But the feather's gonna go onto our parrot, and that's gonna look really nice. And the last part is his tail. You're gonna have to clip this little part off because it's obviously not like that. It's gonna fit flush against this. But yeah, he has this little mechanical tail. Take a look at Bloodclaw's treasure chest. So you can see that has this flat surface here, and then that goes on like that. Really nice though. You can see that you need to take this little piece of a tag off, and then just here as well. Not much cleanup like the rest of the stuff though. I like this skull. So it has this skull, but it's obviously opened with all this treasure pouring out. Really nice detail on the wood grain. Now these brackets around here, they're bone, and then you've got some metal ones going around. Just like here. Just like the bottom part, you can see some metal brackets going around and a couple of skull pieces or bones. And some of the treasure is leaked out and poured out. A really nice treasure chest though. Now last but not least, we have our little goblin. Off and clean up his feet there. But look how detailed the actual feet and toes are. You can see the claws and the individual toes there. Love how he's got these Aladdin sort of pants, really chunky and baggy pants. And I love his belt is wrapped around, and you can see the bottom of the belt coming out. Has this little dagger attached to it, really nice. And then he's got these cannonballs or grenades here. And obviously his body goes onto there quite nicely. Take a look at his body though. Really tiny piece, but really detailed. So he has this vest on. Then he has these little triangle parts for the arms to slide in easily. And then obviously the circle part for the head. Detailed his face is. Love that expression. He's basically not a happy little goblin, is he? He's got a couple of piercings. Not much character to this face though. Nostrils and the teeth. Has this grimace sort of face. This little bandana that pirates tend to wear. And this is his arm. Look how staunch he is for a little goblin. He has all these veins over his muscles, and he's quite ripped as well. Has this scar over the muscle there. Has these nice gloves. Fingerless ones. You can see his fingers, and then you can see his claws or his fingernails. And he has one of these grenades or cannonballs in his hand. It's really nice though. Now you have his other arm, which is pretty much the same. A little bit stock standard, but it's in a nice pose. You can see his fingers are curled and he's almost pointing. Counterbalance himself to throw that other grenade or cannonball. Love his glove though. Little fingers hanging out. But that's my review of Kaptin Bluddklaw and his crew. Now I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you could please smash that like button. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate that. And as always, this was G The Hypersapien, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.